Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I thank you so very much for coming to our Shades of Poetry program today. You do know that April is Poetry Month in the United States. And I encourage you to read some poetry, attend various poetry programs, poetry clubs, poetry slams, poetry jams. They're at libraries, restaurants, nightclubs. Read some poetry. Write some poetry. I found that poetry can be really, really exciting. I thank all of you for coming to our Shades of Poetry program. I thank Jan, that was just up here a moment ago, for making it happen. I'm reading poetry because the poems are not my works. And when you're performing someone else's works, you must read it exactly the way they have written it. I will add a few little things to it, perhaps, just to kind of make it more animated. Performing and reading poetry is the most exciting thing a poet can do. And at that moment, they are caught up or lost in their own world. This is poetry. Poetry is music and the spoken word. And today we are showcasing Maya Angelou, Emily Dickinson, Robert Frost, and Langston Hughes. We've also included some other poets of giggly poems, better known as children's poems. Now, it has been said by some storytellers that stories make the world go round. Well, you do know that poetry and storytelling could be considered as first cousins. They both are the spoken word. But if storytelling truly makes the world go round, what does poetry do? Or what does it make? An inquiring mind may ask. But Fred and I are going to share with you how some poets feel about their poetry, starting with the spoken words of William Wordsworth, a 19th century British poet who was born in 1770. William left this world in 1850. He said, poems are given a collective name for a spontaneous overflow of power, of powerful feelings. Some deep-thinking poets have said, poetry is that element that causes us to pause, to listen, to look and smell the fragrance, enjoy the quietness of life, as found in Emily Dickinson's poem, My River. Emily was born December 10, 1830. She left this world May 15, 1856. She was born in Amherst, Massachusetts. Thought to be one of the finest poets in the English language. With the keen observance of nature and a wise interpretation of human passion, she lived a very social, secluded life. Her poetry has an undeniable capacity to move and provoke the human spirit. My river. written by Emily Dickinson. My river runs to thee. Lucy, wilt thou welcome me? My river awaits reply. O sea, look graciously. I will fetch thee brooks from spotted nooks. Say, sea, take me. My river runs to me. Some of the most beautiful poetry is found in the Bible. For instance, Song of Solomon, first chapter, the 15th verse. Behold, my lover, thou art fair. Thou art fair, my lover. Behold. We will present to you shades of poetry, starting with children's poems, known as giggly poetry. I like children's poetry. It is called giggling in some instances because that is exactly what it is. Giggling, rhyming, nonsense most times, laughable, and short. Don't get me wrong, all children's poetry is not giggly. It can be as serious as any other poetry. But I like children's poetry because it doesn't pull the world in on me with all of its woes. Children's poetry takes me back to a happy time in my life when I was a child, and all I thought about was how fast could I ride my bike down the tall, long levee when the water was high. Oh, those were great days for me, great times. I lived a free spirit. Yes, I was a free spirit then. And our first giggly poem is Good Morning. Another note from Mom. By the way, this poem was written by Diane Z. Shore. And she says, I sprang from my bed and bumped my head and stunned my left toe. Then jammed my fingers turning down the Glam radio. I rubbed my bumps and bruises, as the weather lady said. Today's the first day of April, look the showers overhead. I trudged downstairs to breakfast where my bad luck tagged along. There taped on the microwave was another note from Mom. Good morning! Exclamation point. She always starts out nice. Now comes the part where I get her motherly advice. For breakfast, dear, just help yourself. There's pizza in the freezer. And as for soda, choose the Sprite. The Coke has lost its fizz. Is this a dream? I said out loud. There must be some mistake. I better read that again. I am only half awake. I scanned the lines not once but twice. Yes. Peace is what it said. And I could swallow that advice. So I read on ahead. Please wear your faded jeans to school. Those low-cut ones that flare. And use my mousse to do that sticky up thing with your hair. Is she real? I asked myself. What's gotten into Mom? Whatever it was, I liked it lots. So I continued on. About your science quiz today, the one on natural gas, you just tell your teacher, that's one subject you don't want to pass. I know I didn't read that right. I couldn't have, no way. But there it was in black and white, as plain as night and day. And then it hit me. Why the change? Mom hadn't lost a screw, and my worry-free philosophy had finally gotten through. Her rules had changed from lame to lax. My mom was cool at last. These few months of middle school were going to be a blast. I quickly read the last few lines. Enjoy school today. Oh no, enjoy your day at school. And don't believe what you just said, what you just read. Or you will be an April Fool.
All right, y'all, I'm going to sing a little ditty, and y'all have to participate. When I say ditty, well, ditty, y'all got to repeat it, and Miss Felix is going to help you with your part. Here we go. It's a great big mystery. The cherries worrying me. It's a ditty wah ditty.
A ditty wah ditty.
Ditty wah ditty.
A ditty wah ditty.
Anybody knew what a ditty wah ditty be?
A ditty wah ditty.
One day I saw a big old dog. He opened his mouth and he barked like a frog. Ditty wah ditty.
A ditty wah ditty.
Ditty wah ditty.
A ditty wah ditty.
Anybody knew what a ditty wah ditty mean?
No. Ditty wah ditty.
One time I put an M&M in my nose. Then I blew it out with a big heave-ho.
Oh, gross. Ditty wah ditty.
Ditty wah ditty.
A ditty wah ditty.
Anybody knew what a ditty wah ditty be? One time I saw a big old cat. He opened his mouth and he meowed like a rat. Ditty wah ditty.
A ditty wah ditty.
Ditty wah ditty.
A ditty wah ditty.
Anybody knew what a ditty wah ditty be?
No. Do you know? Do you know? You know? You know?
I looked up at the moon.
You know?
Then I turned into a spoon. Ditty wah ditty.
A ditty wah ditty.
Ditty wah ditty.
Ditty wah ditty.
Anybody know what a ditty wah ditty mean?
No, you don't know. You know what ditty wah ditty mean? You know. You all know back there what a ditty wah ditty is? Anybody know? Help this man. He needs to know.
Help! I need help. One day I looked up at the sky. Somebody hit me in the face with a big old pie. Ditty wah ditty.
Ditty wah ditty. That's what it was.
Ditty.
A ditty wah ditty.
Anybody knew what a ditty wah ditty mean? Yes, anybody knew what a ditty wah ditty mean?
Now, we don't know what ditty wah ditty is. Do you all know what? Now, do you all know what? Anybody know what ditty wah ditty is? If you know, I will give you a nickel. You can't take home everything you find. Cause your mama ain't gonna let you keep it. And Rosemary, I mean ain't. I know that's a term you would never use. The word ain't. But your mama ain't gonna let you keep stuff you bring home. Now your daddy may say, oh, that's okay. Just keep it, boy. Just put it over there. That's okay. But mama ain't gonna let you keep it. And I can prove that to you right now with this next giggly poem. This poem was written by Jody Samano. And Jody says, one rainy day, on my way home from school, I found a big worm and thought it was cool. I picked up the worm with my bare hand. I held it up, thinking how grand. The worm was so cute and wiggled a lot. I put him in my pocket to show Mom what I had caught.
That's a ditty wah ditty.
You're right. Why was it? What would she say when I show her my find? Will she let me keep it? I hope she won't mind. Mom was in the kitchen when I showed her what I had found. She screamed, no way! Put that back in the ground. Now I am so angry, she always says no. If she won't let me keep it, then I will just go. So me and my worm packed a sandwich or two, and out the door and down the street we both flew. We walked to the park and sat on the bench. I pulled out my worm. Yuck. Then I noticed what a stench. He looked kind of floppy but wiggled a bit. I thought, oh my gosh, my worm is not fit. Well, I laid it in the dirt and let it go free. You better not eat that. I guess that my pocket was not the place for my worm to be. Thank you.
Alright, I got another ditty about a wiggle worm. You kids know how to giggle?
Sometimes.
You know how to wiggle? You know how to jiggle?
No.
Well, y'all got to do all this.
You gonna pay us? We didn't get it for nothing.
Just love to hear you giggle. You got a wiggle worm. All you do is wiggle and you giggle and you jiggle and you wiggle and you squirm.
Woo!
I bet if I gave you a tickle,
No, don't touch.
start to wiggle worm. All you do is wiggle and you giggle and you jiggle and you wiggle and you squirm.
Ooh, ooh,
Did you
ooh.
go to the doctor
No, no doctors.
to get you a wiggle pill?
No.
Oh, did it start the day you was born? Yes, you wiggle right in.
Oh, but I did. I wiggled right
If I
in.
give you a nickel,
No,
spend it on a wiggle worm.
no, I wouldn't.
All you do is wiggle and you giggle and you jiggle and you wiggle and you squirm.
I mean,
No one has to touch you.
no, no touching.
You giggle all the time.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, make believe you got wiggling. Fall in.
Don't you say that bad word.
Bet if I give you a pickle, feed you with a worm.
No pickles.
All you do is wiggle and you giggle and you jiggle and you wiggle and you squirm.
I'll be
All
squirming.
you do is wiggle and you
squirm?
giggle and you jiggle and you wiggle and you
Very good. Thank you, Fred. This poem is by Diane Z. Shore, and it's called Get Out of Bed. She said, Get out of bed, you silly fool. Get up right now. It's time for school. If you don't dress without a fuss, I will throw you naked on the bus. Oh, Mom. Mom, don't make me go today. I'm feeling worse than I was yesterday. You don't know what I'm going through. I got a strange case of the flu. My body aches, my throat is sore. I'm sure death is knocking on my door. You can't send me to school. Cause someone could get it too. Besides, the kids despise me there. They always tease and always stare. And all the teachers know my name. When something goes wrong, it's me they blame. You faked a headache yesterday. Don't you pull that stuff on me today. Stop acting like a silly fool. The principal cannot skip school. Thank you.
I like to read.
Yes, I do.
Is reading
It really rocks.
I like to read.
I like to read it.
Is reading really rocks. Is once I start a book, there's
Nothing
nothing
gonna make me stop.
I like to read.
I like to read it.
Is
It
reading
really
really
rocks.
I like to read. Reading really rocks.
Woo!
Yeah, once I get started,
Ain't nothing gonna make me stop.
I read at the library,
See all these books?
read at school.
Yes, I do.
on the bus
You
back.
got a library card?
I'm reading.
Oh, I missed my bus!
Like to read.
I like to read. Bessie Cow said.
Really rocks.
And
Once I
I
started.
started reading. Ain't nothing gonna make me stop.
Won't mark up the cover.
Don't you mark up my cover.
Won't dog ear page.
Don't you dog in my pages.
Got a brand new book.
Got a brand new book.
Keep my place. I like to read.
I'd like to read.
Really rocks.
Yes, it really rocks.
Once
And I started reading. Ain't nothing gonna make me stop. We're trying to encourage young people, any people, to read. Read, read, read. And poetry is really about reading and writing. For you young people in here, or some of you more mature people, you might want to become what? A famous poet one day. But you sure won't be one if you don't read. And I always encourage children, Jayla, to read, 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 okay? Read a book.
If you're looking for adventure,
Yes, I am.
wanna unwind, pick up a good story, get out of that grind.
Gotta get out of the grind.
Read a book.
Read.
Yes, read a book. Read a book. You're looking for laughter. If it's fun, you'll have to read a book.
Woo.
And if you got a question, something's on your mind, reading is the answer. You be a mastermind. Read a book. Read a book. Yes, read a book. Read a book. If you're looking for adventure, just need some laughter. Read a book. Now, kids, you got to read every day of your life.
Every day.
You got to know how to read. Just see what's on the TV at night.
Cut that television off. Get a
Read a
book.
book. Read a book. Yes, read a book. Read a book. If you're looking for some laughter or you just need some answers, read a book.
Oh my goodness, look at that, the giant. The giant.
Just need a little laughter. Read a book.
Read a book. The next children's poem that I'm going to share with you is not a giggling poem, but it's in that category of children's poems. This poem is Bed in Summer. Jayla, I know you can relate to this. Bed in Summer. In winter, I get up at night and dressed by yellow candlelight. In summer, quite the other way. I have to go to bed by day. I have to go to bed and see the birds still hopping on the trees, or hear grown-up people's feet still passing me in the street. And does it not seem hard to you when all the sky is clear and blue, and I should so much to play, and I should lack so much to play, to have to go to bed by day? A little poem by Robert Louis Stevenson. Thank you all so very much. That ends our giggly poem, but we want to do those first for the children because we want to hold on to their attention. Now, with your permission, Fred and I are going to tweak the program up a little bit, our way. With Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes, and come to a smooth, quiet ending with Robert Frost. Maya Angelou was born April the 4th, 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri. She was raised partly in St. Louis and in Stamps, Arkansas. Maya was known as that global Renaissance woman. She is 86 years old and still performing. Maya's poetry can stir our souls, energize our bodies, and liberate our minds. I'd like to share with you right now one of her poems. Still I Rise. Still I Rise is a very powerful poem, and I'm going to do my best to give it justice. So it goes like this. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I will rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I got all wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of the tide. Just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed down and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my hardness offend you? Don't you take it awfully hard? 'Cause I laugh. Yes, I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. Oh, you may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like air, I will rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance? Yes, I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thousand. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise up from a past that's rooted in pain. I rise. I am a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling. I bear the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear. I rise into a daybreak that is wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and I am the dream of the slave. I rise, I rise, I will rise. Maya Angelou. Langston Hughes was one of those poets. He wrote a variety of poems. He wrote protest poems during the civil rights movement. Two of his noted poems that we're going to share with you today. One is Po' Boy Blues. And it's possible that Mr. Hughes wrote this poem when he was feeling kind of low, kind of down, really frustrated. So he wrote Po' Boy Blues. Mr. Fred Jelly Joe Johnson doing Po' Boy Blues, written by Langston Hughes.
When it was home, sunshine seemed like gold. But when it was home, sunshine seemed like gold. When I was up north, the whole world seemed cold. Was a good boy,
He was a good old boy.
never did no wrong.
He never done no wrong.
Was a good boy, never done no wrong. But the world is weary, and the road is long and hard. Fell in love with a girl I thought was kind. Fell in love with a girl I thought was kind. She took my money, almost lost my mind. Weary, weary, early in the morning. Weary, weary, early in the morning. I'm so weary, wish I was never born.
Hobart Blues. Thank you. Our next poem is written by Mr. Langston Hughes, and I'm going to do this one. Backlash Blues. Mr. Langston Hughes wrote this poem in the 1960s during the heat of the Civil Rights Movement. And the Vietnam War was raging. Those were some turbulent times for Mr. Hughes, trying to get his poetry out there. Some folks did not want it. Other folks were afraid of it. So Mr. Hughes had a lot on his mind. James Langston Hughes was born February 1st, 1902 in Joplin, Missouri. Mr. Hughes left this world on May 22nd, 1967. He was an African-American poet, social activist, novelist, playwright. There's a lot to be said about Mr. Hughes and all these other poets that I've introduced to you today. But their biography is extremely long, so that's your homework. Read about these poets. There's a what is called a Dewey Decimal System here. You can read about any poet, poems that you can read about it. But as I said, there's a lot to be said about Mr. Langston Hughes. Some of his poetry did not sit well with the African American community. Now they felt at that time his poetry was going to offend white America. So he was dealing with a lot, trying to get his poetry sold. He had no problem writing it, but getting it sold was another issue. So I'm going to do for you one of his poems. As I said, he wrote this poem when the Civil Rights Movement was at its height, Vietnam War raging. So I'm going to present to you now Langston Hughes, Backlash Blues. Mr. Backlash, Mr. Backlash, just who do you think I am? You raised my taxes, you freeze my wages, and you send my son to Vietnam. You give me second-class houses, second-class schools. Do you think that all colored folks are just a bunch of second-class fools? Mr. Backlash, just who do you think I am? When I try to find a job to earn a little cash, all you got to offer is that same old cold Jim Crow backlash. Mr. Backlash, just who do you think I am? Well, let me tell you something. The world is big, big, and bright, and round. Mr. Backlash, it's full of folks like me that are black, yellow, yellow, beige, and brown. Mr. Backlash. Mr. Backlash. What do you think I got to lose? I'm gonna leave you, Mr. Backlash, singing your mean old Backlash blues. Mr. Backlash? Mr. Backlash, just who do you think I am? Langston Hughes, protest poem. Thank you. You know, life is full of twisting and turns, ups and downs, here today, gone today, and hope somebody will not come back tomorrow. Life is full of challenges. So for a little something extra, I want to share with you a real true-to-life poem. This poem was written by Paul Laurence Dunbar. Mr. Dunbar also has a very humbling, extremely long biography. Please read it. You will just be blown away as I was. But I'm not going to read any of Mr. Dunbar's biography. I'm just going to read one of his poems. This poem is, we wear the mask. We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile, with torn and bleeding hearts, we smile and mouth with merit civilities. Why should the world be overwise? And counting all our tears and sighs. Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile. Oh, what great Christ, our cries. To thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but all the clay is vile beneath our feet and along the mile. But let the world dream otherwise. We wear the mask. Think about how often you wear your mask. Every moment, days, nights. Things are flying into our faces all day, every day. And it causes us to wear the mask. Remember I mentioned earlier that we were going to come to a smooth, quiet ending
Yes.
with Robert Frost. Well, it's time to do just that. Robert Frost was born March 26, 1874. Mr. Frost left this world January 29, 1963. He was born in San Francisco, California. His parents moved to England when he was 11 years old. Mr. Frost had a love for writing and reading at a very early age. He was highly regarded for his realistic depiction of rural life. He became more involved in poetry during his high school years. His first professional poem was My He was only 20 years old then. My Butterflies are very long, beautiful, but difficult to read poem, for me it was, because of the language. So I'm going to share with you two of his other poems. The first one, A Manor Bird. I have wished a bird would fly away and not sing by my house all day. I have clapped my hands from the door when it seemed as if I could bear no more. The fault must partly have been mine, must be in me. The bird was not to blame for his key. And of course, there must be something wrong in wanting to silence a song. Robert Frost, A Manor Bird. Thank you. A Prayer in Spring by Mr. Robert Frost. Oh, give us pleasures in the flowers today, and give us not to think so far away, as the uncertain harvest keeps us here, all simple in the springing of the year. Oh, give us pleasures in the arch white, like nothing else by day, and ghosts by night, and make us happy in the happy trees, the swan dilating round the perfect trees, and make us happy in the darting bird that suddenly above the bees is heard, the meteor that thrusts in with needle bill, or if a blossom in mid-air stands still. For this is love, and nothing else is love, the which is reserved for God above, to sanctify to what far ends he will, but which it only needs that we fulfill. Robert Frost.